Hi, it's Nicole here. Today I thought I'd do something a little different and just show you guys some of the build processes that I use to do my organics. Now I do often do videos that actually show my build process, but if you're new to the channel then, I thought you might be interested in seeing what I do, and if you are new, welcome to my channel. So behind me is the Devourer, and I'll just show you a couple of different techniques that I've used to build him. So the first is my least favourite way of building, and that's the tentacles sort of nearest the mouth of the Devourer, and they're really just placing blocks wherever. So you're just spamming blocks in, the general area that you want the shape. So I don't really like it, it's too chaotic for me. I like to have a bit of structure in my builds, so I don't use this technique that often. All it involves is just putting blocks roughly where you want them to make the basic shape. I'd even say that I find this technique kind of daunting. You've got to be very spontaneous, and I don't really do spontaneous. I kind of prefer to plan things out to an extent anyway, rather than just sort of putting blocks anywhere. So I'll show you a couple of other builds that I've done using this technique. This one is a giant tree stump, and it's one that I still haven't finished yet. Again, I think I'm just a little bit put off by building like this. When I built this originally, I actually did it in stone and then decided to change my mind, as I do, and so I've gone over it again in wood, but I haven't finished. You can see around the back there. But yeah, probably one of my least favourite builds, I'd say, so that's why I haven't gone any further. So this is another one of my favourite builds, and I've used that technique for the smoke, just placing blocks randomly. I'm very spontaneous, and I didn't mind doing this actually. It wasn't too bad, but it was quite a challenge. It took a long time, just took me probably 15 hours just to do the smoke. But the legs on this are my favourite way of building. There's much more structure to it. You pretty much just build a two-dimensional flat shape and then build out from there, and it's really simple, and it's quicker, I find, because I don't have to think too much about it, and perhaps that's why I like it so much. Anyway, back to the Devourer. So what I'm going to do is just build another tentacle in between these ones, and just to show you the technique that I really like and that I use the most, really. So I'm going to put it just there, and so just go down, and I'll just do a sped up version to show getting to the point where you've just got a two-dimensional shape, and then I'll just show you what I do after that. So as far as shape goes for the tentacles, it's really just trial and error. You'll see that often I sort of backtrack and break some of the blocks that I've put because they're not in the right place. I think after I finish this one I'll probably do one more of the tentacles, and that will probably be it for the outer ones. I'm not really sure what else I'm going to do. I think I'm nearly finished, but I don't know if I ever actually really finish my builds. I tend to go back over them. So you can see how the curves are taking shape, and it doesn't have to be complicated. You'll find that once you have the two-dimensional shape, and so I'm going on to the other side now, it's really quite easy. And then you can sort of refine it as you go. And this one, there's a bit of fiddling around trying to get the shape right. So this is how I do the majority of my builds now. I just find it so much easier. And still going up. Getting higher. As I'm going higher, I'm trying to also taper the shape so that there's a nice point at the top. You'll also see as I'm building that I'm kind of putting, several blocks down and then actually moving away and looking from a distance. I find that that's really helpful, just to make sure that you're on track with everything. It takes a long time because you're constantly moving away from the build and coming back again, but I think it's just, you need to do that to get an overall view of how the build's going. And finally we're sort of getting up to the top. So you can see that two-dimensional shape, and then you just work from there. You just come out. So here I'm just building it out so that it's actually 3 blocks wide, and when I get to the top I taper it again just so that it, you know, there's a bit of a point at the top. And then doing the other side. And so you can see here that it's 3 wide. I always try and go for odd numbers as far as building. I find it just looks better. It's just my personal opinion. But it does make it easier if you want sort of more of a point in a build to have an odd number. And then I just keep sort of building out. And you can see how it's shaped the whole tendril or the tentacle. You can see how that shape's coming along. So there's the basic shape, and now I do just a little bit of refining really. You don't have to do it, you can certainly leave it at this stage, but I find that, yeah, this kind of helps to make it look more natural. So this is where it's good having an odd number of blocks, because then you can go up in the centre, and it doesn't matter how many blocks, but you'll see when I pan away in a minute that, yeah, it really does make it look more rounded, I guess, is what we're going for, and more natural. So it just takes away kind of the squareness, and so you can see there it does look a lot more curved. So anyway, I guess it's that time now. I hope you enjoyed the video, and have a go of organics. It's fun. Stay safe, and bye for now.